Welcome to DG360. Hey, Klaus, welcome to the stream, dude. Good to see you. And this shit triggers the fuck out of me every time I see a Kotaku article. They are so biased negatively towards Star Citizen. It is ridiculous. It's as if somebody on the Kotaku staff got burned completely by Chris personally. I don't know what the deal is, why everything that comes out from them is complete negatively biased. It is so important to be very rational about this. Here's the headline. If you've been a backer for a very long time, there could be an amount of frustration that the game is not out yet. But we have seen time and time again here on DG360 player-driven events that are awesome. By Atmo Esports, by New Racing League, the Black Maze is starting. That was awesome. If you guys have missed that content, you go check it out. Kate, Tonk battles, like battle royales with Tonks. So many things that players are doing in the game that they say is unfinished and is not out yet. There are so many things right now that you can get involved in, and it's so much fun to play with friends. And it is playable. And yes, it is buggy. And yes, it is still being worked on and developed. But one thing I can say about Cloud Imperium that is positive for me is that they've always been transparent. They might not have brought things out fast enough, but they've showed us every step of the way where they're at. And sometimes, you know, they do things that get me frustrated as well. You know, to be rational about this, yes, there's frustration, okay? But at the same time, to say that the game is really not out yet, you know, on the official, okay, great. But like they're making it seem like this is some like project that there's nothing happening on. Like every time I see these titles, they're so clickbaity. And everything that you see here on this title makes a person not very aware of Star Citizen, and those that really aren't involved makes them think like, oh yeah, this must just be like a poop experience. And it's not a poop experience, man. Like it is. There's a lot of fun to be had in Star Citizen. So you know, I just want to say that, you know, because I believe it's important to put out everything. Some people could say, oh, DG, you're being a white knight. No, when I see like such negatively biased titles like this, I want to take some time to at least vocalize the other side of the coin. Okay. So let us see. Yeah, I mean, like, I've been called a white knight. Jamba says, oh, shit, be careful. Salty Mike went after Montoya on being a white knight. I could give a shit about what Salty Mike says. You know, frankly, I don't think Salty Mike is salty enough. I think there should be much more salt, and he would have much more viewers if we watched a video he did where, you know, like, I personally didn't think he said anything bad about anything or step over the line. And I thought everything he said about this one dude's experience wasn't bad at all. But everybody hopped on the hate wagon and hated Salty Mike. So I thought that was not really, you know, that just to do. I think a lot of people that watched a video in which Salty Mike watched a new player's experience, he didn't really shit on the dude. He was just sharing his opinion. So there wasn't really any salt at all. It was more Pepper Mike than it was Salty Mike. So like, to me, I give a shit what Salty Mike says about me. I mean, Salty Mike has called me a white knight as well. And there's been plenty of times where people were calling me a naysayer. In 2017, people were calling me a naysayer. You know, like, this is the thing, you know, like, you have to keep pace with the development of what's going on. You got to take the good with the bad, and you got to form yourself like a rational view of where you think the development is at. And right now, the one big hurdle I see is dynamic server meshing. I don't think it's going to be out in 2022. I think it'll probably be out in 2023. Does that make me hate the project? Does that make me angry at Cloud Imperium and the developers? No. You know, like, because they take the time out to be as transparent as they can be. You don't see a lot of other developers putting this amount of work into keeping people interested and bringing the player audience back. Look at Dual Universe. Look at these failed titles. Look at Elite Dangerous and Odyssey. Look at the flop that was. You know, I commend Frontier for at least trying to be a little bit more transparent and put a little bit more content on their channel, but they completely flopped Odyssey. And you're seeing a lot of people from Elite Dangerous come over into Star Citizen. So when it comes to like the amount of work that Cloud Imperium's up to, and the fact that they posted the biggest first profit that they have ever, I mean, they posted a profit before 1 year. I think it was back in 2015, you know, it was early on, but they hadn't posted a profit in a very long time. And at least with Company's House in UK, they posted a profit just recently. That info is out on the channel as well. So I was very happy for them to see a profit being posted as a business model. That is super positive. So I'm expecting that they're going to post a profit on the United States side of things as well. And we will get that information when the P&Ls are released at the end of the year. And I expect them to post a profit. I'd be surprised if they didn't post a profit on the state side of things. So we'll see that when they post it on the Cloud Imperium website. Anyway, let's get busy with this article here. Yeah, and Erad said, do you think they'll post a profit in 2021? Yes, I think that they will continue to do so. And then perhaps in 2022, we'll see another loss because of the expansion that they're getting into with Frankfurt and Manchester. And again, we've talked about that on the channel ad nauseum as well. So here we go. This guy on Kotaku saying it is 2021. The Star Citizen hasn't raised 400 million and is still not out. Let's just read what there is to say here. He goes, it is 2007. I am playing a game on Xbox Live Arcade called Wing Commander Arena. It is a top-down shooter and I hate it. This is not Wing Commander. Why has nobody made a new Wing Commander? It is 1993. I'm sitting in my living room trying to make a boot disk on my aging SX33 personal computer. Can play Chris Robertson's Wing Commander 3. I succeed, but it takes 23 minutes for a mission to load. It is 2012. Chris Roberts, the creator of Wing Commander, announces a new video game. It is coming to Kickstarter, an online marketplace where fans can fund things that are not yet complete. The game is called Star Citizen. It will be released in 2015. First off, fans are funding the game. $400 million. There is something to be said there. That is very significant. $400 million in support. This is not fake news. $400 million. Okay. And some people are saying, well, that just proves it's the most successful scam ever. No, what it proves is that people want an experience like this. I can't say this enough or pound the table enough on this. People are tired of the same bullshit, the same rinse, wash, and repeat bullshit that the AAA gaming industry has been giving us for decades. People want something new. And this is the only game in town offering that something new. This experience that can give us what it is that we want in all facets of gameplay. Whether you're a trader, whether you're a PvPer, very highly endorsed PvP community by Cloud Imperium, which is very hard to find in any publisher, in any title. $400 million actually means something. It doesn't mean that all people that donated the $400 million are duped into the biggest scam ever. What it means is that people want this different experience, and they're successfully bringing in this money and are creating it. And it is slow. And there are hurdles because this game is trying to do something that hasn't been done before. And, you know, I commend them for trying. I commend them for trying to do that. It is 1999. Freddie Prinze Jr. is flying around space in a starfighter that looks like a ride from 1950s theme park. This is not Wing Commander. I am not enjoying this. It is 2015. Star Citizen has rated over 100 million, but despite original plans, has not yet been released. In 2012, Roberts had said, we've already 1 year and another 2 years, put us 3 total, which is ideal anymore, and things begin to get stale. All right, great. That is what he said when the game had a much smaller scope. The game had a much smaller scope then. So let's facts, right? The game had a much smaller scope back then, okay? Many people who backed the game started voting on all these expansion ideas on what they wanted the game to be. And, you know, interestingly enough, the backers kept voting for things in the game that they wanted to see in the game that wasn't on the original plan. I mean, this is just facts, you know? So that quote that's taken out of context because the game was much less back then, or promised to be something much less than what it has become now. And it boggles my mind that after all the progress that we've seen, after so many people are trying it, and you see so many reactions from so many people in the YouTube community and the Twitch community on these platforms that try out Star Citizen for the first time, and they are completely awestruck. You can see it. You can see it in their face. Now, some people would say, well, yeah, that wears off very quickly. And I think that, okay, if you're in the PvE grind business and you want that content spoon-fed to you, okay, I can see how that could get boring fast. But if you're in the game to be part of a community and do things with other players, I think the opportunities really are endless, even with one solar system. Where do you hear that at? Does anybody talk about that? I don't think anybody's talking about that. It's a pretty big deal. But you won't hear it from anybody, especially with the mindset of this journalist, quote unquote, because they're not taking the time out to realize it. They just want spoon-fed content delivered to them in a PvE format. And if they don't have enough of that content, they go ballistic. And, you know, I would argue that this game is a very player-driven game, that it is more exciting to play with other people. Tech says, I'm a PvE grinder and I still spend a lot of my time taking screenshots because it's so fucking beautiful. Yeah. Yeah, man. Exactly. It is 2020. Fans have now spent $300 million on a game that is not out. Star Citizen single-player campaign Squadron 42 was supposed to be released in 2016, then 2018. Beta at least was supposed to be out in 2020. In October 2020, Robert says, we still have a ways to go before we are in beta. I'm no longer concerned. I now find this deeply funny. It is 2021. Developers of this video game have now raised over $400 million from fans for a game that is still not out and has now been in development for a decade, and then he laughs at it. It's like, basically, this guy is just kind of laughing at everybody who's having a good time. Like, you know, like, this is a stage of game development. This is game development on a large scale. This is game development where everybody's involved. This is game development where everybody can see the transparency of what it is that they're up to. This is game development and a crowdfunding that really has never seen any type of success ever like this before. And this dude's laughing. This dude's laughing at it. I mean, to me, this is so clickbaity. This is so not content. There's nothing really meaningful here. Anybody could say what this guy is saying. And again, if you're involved with the project and you spend what is discretionary, right? I would say overall, I'm happy with what I've spent, with what I've pledged. I'm fine. I haven't gone overboard. I haven't gone crazy. I've only spent what I can afford to spend. Discretionary money. I think what you're going to see with people like these are people that are either trying to get clickbait views or people who are angry, have put way too much money in this, not realizing that this is a game in development. You know, like, and that are bitter and that they're angry because they put way too much more than they could fucking afford. You know? And there's wonderful comments here. There's awesome comments from the community. And listen, like Erat says, like Bucha. I'll tell you what, I like Bucha. Nice guy. I've talked with him. I've had interviews with Bucha. Nice dude. Go to the channel. Absolutely really cool dude. I love Bucha. Listen, we've talked ad nauseum as well on development. More so, Bucha and I have talked about the business model. Good talks, really good talks between him and I. about the business model. And Bucha came to it, for people not aware who Bucha is, he was a venture capitalist, somebody who invested privately in COD Imperium very, very early on. So you got to understand, he's approaching it from a different perception from the average backer. Okay? As an investor, as somebody who trades, I totally understand his angle. That's a fucking long time if you're an investor to see a return on your investment, to see an ROI. Completely understand where Bucha's coming from. So when you hear Bucha and you got to have like a rational mindset. You got to understand where he's coming from and how he's looking at it, right? He's looking at it as somebody who's invested thousands of dollars privately to make an ROI, to make a return on his investment. And it never came through for him as promised. And so he should be upset. He should be upset, right? He had much more riding on it. He had a lot of money invested in this, and he ended up getting his money back. And it was a really wonderful talk that I had. It was a really good talk I've had with Bucha. Every talk I've had with Bucha, really civil, really cool, nice dude. And he's coming from a completely different angle than the average Star Citizen backer who spent, a couple $100 or less. There's people that have discretionary income. They threw a couple thousand in it because that's the kind of money they have. And I always laugh because I see this repeatedly from people who are against the project saying, well, I can't believe the amount of money that you're spending. Who are they to say how much money you can pledge to the game? Who are they to criticize people who want to support a project with their discretionary money? Probably people that put too much money in it that wasn't discretionary. Those are those people. They attached way too much to it. Similarly to how Bucha attached money to it. Not the same because they're not investing in it, but they put money into something that they thought was going to be finished tomorrow. And they put thousands of dollars probably, and they couldn't afford it. So they got burnt. Because it's not out yet. So whose fault is that? These aren't fucking adults. These are children that don't understand what they're doing for the most part. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on this topic. But I'm personally, I'm not so invested and wrapped up into I need this out, that I'm going to be that. I'm not going to be that guy. I'm having fun. I'm seeing the progress. Yes, it's fucking slow. But yes, it's a game that's doing something that a lot of other games aren't doing. And that is give you an experience unlike any other game out there. And that's why it has surpassed $400 million. And this guy wants to laugh at that. This guy wants to laugh at it. He thinks it's hilarious. I want to laugh at him because personally, if you're going to laugh at something that's raised $400 million by the people that want to play the game, that is a complete success. That is a complete success. Imagine raising only funds from people that want to play the game and you're a developer. Imagine you raise $400 million from people that want to play the game, that you didn't have to go out and do any of the things that other publishers are doing. Their business model works. The ships that are JPEGs, some are still JPEGs, right? There's other ships that have come out and are flyable. There are a lot of flyable ships now. So this argument where, there's not a lot of ships in the game, you can squash that fucking argument down. And you can throw that away in the garbage can because that argument holds no merit at all anymore. There are plenty of ships out there. And we've seen them do this. And they've showed you where they're at currently with the design of every ship. So that's my 2 cents on it. When I see this shit, this is the reason why Kotaku's hurting so bad. There's no balanced journalism here. There's no rationality to this. This just sounds so fucking bitter that I can't even take it seriously. And this is why Kotaku's lost credibility, because it's not just this title. I don't think there's a lot of people out in my community and many other gaming communities out there that even take Kotaku seriously anymore. Because this is the type of journalism you get. I mean, this guy just sounds like an angry, bitter guy. Like, it's like there's no, like, it doesn't. Anyway, back to the show. Back to the show.